In the U.S., more than 800 construction workers die every year while on the job. Falls are the #1 cause of fatalities in construction. Falls cause 1 of every 3 construction worker deaths. These falls happen in a split second while workers are on roofs, scaffolds, ladders, bridges, and other work surfaces. But these deaths can be prevented. The video you're about to see shows how quickly falls at construction sites can lead to workers' deaths. The video will also show what employers must do so that the work can be done more safely. Employers have a responsibility to provide a safe workplace and required protective equipment. You'll see that using the right type of fall protection saves lives. Please be advised, the scenes you're about to see deal with deaths at construction sites and might be disturbing for some people. All scenes are based on true stories. A worker was installing vinyl siding on a 2-story townhome. He was standing on a ladder that was placed on top of a scaffold. A coworker was on the scaffold cutting pieces of siding. The scaffold had no guardrails. The workers were not wearing any fall protection. While standing on the top step of the ladder, the worker putting up siding overreached to one side, and the ladder overturned. He fell nearly 20 feet and landed on the driveway below. He died later that day from injuries caused by the fall. Let's look at the events leading up to this tragic incident and see how it could have been prevented. Originally, the worker installing siding was standing on a ladder that was placed on top of a scaffold. This is a very serious and dangerous OSHA violation. Also, there was no fall protection for these workers. OSHA requires employers to provide workers with fall protection when they're working on scaffolds more than 10 feet above a lower level. Let's look again at the worker installing siding. But now, the worker is standing on a fully decked pump jack scaffold. It has guardrails at the top, middle, and ends. So instead of being at risk from falling while installing siding, this worker is now protected from fall hazards. This example shows the importance of employers following OSHA's fall protection standards to ensure that workers are provided with a safe workplace. These types of construction deaths are preventable. The fall protection measures shown here save workers' lives. Use fall protection on the job. It could be the difference between life and death. If you would like more information, contact OSHA at www.osha.gov or in the U.S., more than 800 construction workers die every year while on the job. Falls are the #1 cause of fatalities in construction. Falls cause 1 of every 3 construction worker deaths. These falls happen in a split second while workers are on roofs, scaffolds, ladders, bridges, and other work surfaces. But these deaths can be prevented. The video you're about to see shows how quickly falls at construction sites can lead to workers' deaths. The video will also show what employers must do so that the work can be done more safely. Employers have a responsibility to provide a safe workplace and require protective equipment. You'll see that using the right type of fall protection saves lives. Please be advised, scenes you're about to see deal with deaths at construction sites and might be disturbing for some people. All scenes are based on true stories. 4 workers were insulating the roof and applying a high layer of sheet metal roof decking on a tall pre-engineered building. The roof was fairly flat, no controlled decking zone, and the workers were not wearing any personal fall protection. The workers were using drills to screw the metal sheets into the purlins. As one of the workers walked down the roof, he lost his footing. He fell through the space between the purlins and landed on the floor below. He died the next day from his injuries. Let's look at the events that led up to this tragic incident and see how it could have been prevented. Originally, the workers had no fall protection, which OSHA requires the employer to provide when working at heights of 15 feet above. Let's look again at the workers installing the metal roofing sheets and see what happens when these workers use fall protection. They are now using a temporary horizontal lifeline. This involves a horizontal cable attached to 2 or more anchor points on the roof. In this system, the workers can connect their harnesses to a horizontal lifeline that is secured to the roof structure instead of individual anchor stops him from falling to the floor below. While he is hanging from his fall arrest system, a coworker brings over a lift and rescues the worker. This example shows the importance of employers following OSHA's fall protection standards to ensure that workers are provided with a safe workplace. These types of construction deaths are preventable. The fall protection measures shown here save workers' lives. Use fall protection on the job. It could be the difference between life and death. If you would like more information, contact OSHA at www.osha.gov or 1-800-321-OSHA. That's 1-800-321-6742.
We will discuss best practices for ladder use and give you tips to keep you safe on every job. Having the right ladder for the job is the safest way to complete any task. So how do you ensure you're choosing the right ladder? It's important to understand the differences between ladders, including their function, ratings, and materials. First, you should select the style that best fits your job. There are 5 basic categories of ladders: step, extension, multi-use, podium, or job make. A step ladder is a portable, self-supporting A-frame ladder. An extension ladder is also referred to as a portable ladder. They usually have 2 sections that operate in brackets, allowing for adjustable lengths. Multi-use ladders have the capability to be set up in a variety of configurations. Podium ladders are self-supporting A-frame ladders that provide a large, standing surface, allowing workers to face any direction without needing to reposition the ladder. And the last category is job-made ladders, constructed on-site, usually out of wood to fit very specific needs. To decide which type best fits your task, you need to determine the following. For what jobs will you need the ladder? Will the ladder be used inside or outside? What heights will you need to reach? How much weight will be on the ladder, including tools and materials? And is there a possibility of working near electricity or power lines? A ladder duty rating determines the load capacity or maximum weight the ladder can safely support. Calculate the workload, include the approximate weight of the worker, the tools needed, and the materials that will be used to complete the job. Then determine heights you will need to reach to complete the task. The maximum safe reaching height is approximately 4 feet higher than the height of the ladder. For example, if you needed to reach a 10-foot ceiling, you could safely use a 6-foot ladder. Finally, you should consider the materials used to construct the ladder, typically wood, aluminum, or fiberglass. Harsh conditions or specific chemicals will affect your choice of ladder. For example, if you're working around electricity or power lines, you need to choose a non-conductive material such as wood or fiberglass. Ladders are like any other tools on the job site. They must be protected from physical damage and kept in good working condition to ensure your work can be done safely and effectively. Before every use, you should perform a visual inspection of the ladder. First, check for missing or damaged feet. Ladders may have either non-skid pads for use on hard surfaces such as concrete and flooring, or metal feet for soft surfaces such as dirt and gravel. Next, check the side rails and rungs. Look for broken, slit, cracked, corroded, bent, or missing rails and rungs. Finally, check for any loose, corroded, or weakened hardware like bolts, rivets, fasteners, or latches. Defective or damaged ladders must be immediately tagged as defective and removed from service. Regularly inspecting and maintaining your ladder will extend the life of the ladder and help ensure your work will be done safely. When handling and setting up a ladder, always be aware of your environment and look for potential hazards or obstacles that could put you in an unsafe position. When carrying a ladder, grasp the rail toward the center to create a balanced load, and have a coworker help you carry long or heavy ladders. Also be cautious carrying a ladder through tight spaces. Always be aware of electrical lines and maintain a safe distance of at least 10 feet. When using a step ladder, open the ladder so that the spreader bar is completely horizontal and locked. Then check that all 4 feet are balanced and have secure footing. Never use a step ladder in a closed and leaning position. To properly set up an extension ladder, you should place the ladder at a 4-to-1 angle against its point of contact. Then you'll need to secure it at the bottom or the top to prevent any sideways movement. Ensure that both feet are balanced and have secure footing. You should use a ladder leveler when working on uneven surfaces. If you're on a hard surface, you should use the non-skid or rubber feet. But on a soft surface, like dirt or gravel, you need to use the metal feet and dig them into the ground to secure the ladder. When using the extension ladder for access, make sure the rails extend at least 3 feet above the landing surface or access point. Proper ladder setup not only helps prevent injuries, but aids in the efficiency of the task at hand. Falls from ladders are one of the leading causes of fatalities and injuries on construction work sites. Here are a few reminders and tips to keep you working safely. First, always read and follow the ladder safety instructions and load ratings. These instructions are usually located on the side rails. When climbing and working on a ladder, you should always maintain 3 points of contact, such as 2 hands and 1 foot, to prevent slips or falls. Don't overreach. The maximum reaching distance is about 4 feet above the height of the ladder. On an extension ladder, the highest standing level is 4 rungs down from the top, and on a step ladder, it's 2 rungs down from the top. Never set up a ladder in a high traffic area where other workers or machinery could bump or knock down the ladder. Never place a ladder upon other objects such as boxes or barrels, scaffold, or other unstable bases in order to obtain additional height. And never use improvised or homemade ladders, or carry out makeshift repairs to a damaged ladder. Proper setup, use, and maintenance of your ladders will ensure a safe workplace and prevent serious injuries.
When you must wear a respirator to protect yourself against airborne contaminants in your workplace, it is very important to follow proper procedures for putting it on and taking it off. The process of putting on and taking off your respirator is also referred to as donning and doffing. Respirator manufacturers supply instructions on how to properly don and doff, put on and take off each respirator they produce. The manufacturer also supplies instructions on how to properly conduct a user seal check. A user seal check is a way to verify that the respirator has been properly positioned on your face to assure a proper seal. Sometimes workers confuse the term user seal check with the term fit test, which is different. A user seal check is not a substitute for a fit test, which is a more involved process that uses a test agent or instrument to verify the respirator's fit. A fit test must be performed before you wear a respirator for the first time and at least annually thereafter. A user seal check must be performed each time you put on a respirator to check that it has been donned correctly. Remember, always follow the respirator manufacturer's instructions for the specific respirator model that you are using. Here are some general instructions for properly donning and doffing and properly conducting a user seal check for the 2 most common types of respirators. Let's begin with general instructions for a disposable filtering facepiece respirator, which is often referred to as an N95 or a dust mask. Inspect the respirator, including the straps, for tears or damage. If you find any damage to the respirator, replace it. If your respirator comes out of its original container folded flat, open the folds fully, following the manufacturer's instructions. Using one hand, place the respirator on your face with the nose piece at your fingertips, allowing the headbands to hang freely. The nose piece should span and cover the bridge of your nose, and the respirator should cup your chin. Pull the top strap over your head, resting it high at the back of your head. Pull the bottom strap over your head and position it around your neck and below your ears. Be sure not to crisscross the straps. Make sure that your mouth and nose are covered by the respirator. If the nose piece has a metal nose piece or strip, use both hands to mold the nose strip to conform to the shape of your nose by pushing inward while moving your fingertips down along both sides of the nose piece. Next, conduct a user seal check. It's essential to follow the manufacturer's user seal check instructions because the manufacturer knows the best method for checking their respirator. Generally speaking, the manufacturer's instructions are based on covering the surface of the respirator, usually with your hands, so that air is prevented from passing through the filtering facepiece. A positive pressure seal check is performed by gently exhaling to see if the facepiece bulges slightly. For a negative pressure seal check, take a quick deep breath to see if the facepiece collapses slightly. During either test, if air leaks out between your face and the respirator's face seal, the respirator may not fit your face properly. One way that you can identify leakage is if you feel air blowing through the seal onto your face or eyes. If you feel leakage, readjust the fit of your respirator and check the seal again. If you cannot achieve a proper seal, you are not protected and should not enter a hazardous area. See your supervisor to determine what the problem may be. When you're finished wearing the respirator, carefully remove it without touching the exterior, because the exterior may be contaminated. Discard your respirator according to your company's procedures. Now let's explore the general instructions for properly donning and doffing and properly conducting a user seal check for a half facepiece elastomeric respirator, sometimes referred to as a half mask. Remember, these are just general instructions. You should always follow the manufacturer's instructions for the specific respirator model that you are using. To begin, inspect the respirator, including the straps, valves, and gaskets, for loose, missing, or damaged parts. If you find any damage to the respirator, repair or replace it. Then pull the bottom strap over your head. Place the respirator facepiece under your chin and over your nose, with the narrow part of the facepiece over your nose. Pull the head harness over the crown of your head and adjust its placement until it is stable but comfortable. Be sure that the neck strap is flat and smooth against the back of your neck. Adjust the neck strap, but be careful not to over-tighten the respirator to your face. Next, perform a positive pressure user seal check. Place the palm of your hand over the exhalation valve outlet. Do not push so hard you distort the natural shape of the facepiece. Exhale gently and hold your breath to create and maintain a slight positive pressure inside the facepiece. If the facepiece bulges slightly and no air leaks are detected between your face and the facepiece, a proper fit has been achieved. If, on the other hand, you detect a face seal leakage, reposition the facepiece and readjust the straps, and then retest. If you cannot achieve a proper seal, you are not protected and should not enter a hazardous area. See your supervisor to determine what the problem may be. Next, perform the negative pressure seal check. Cover the respirator cartridges or filters with the palms of your hands. Inhale gently. If you feel the facepiece collapse slightly and pull closer to your face with no leaks between the face and facepiece, a proper seal has been made. If you detect face seal air leakage, reposition the respirator on your face and readjust the straps. Then recheck. If you cannot achieve a proper seal, you are not protected and should not enter a hazardous area. See your supervisor to determine what the problem may be. When you have finished wearing the respirator, carefully remove it by loosening the straps and taking it off without touching the cartridges or filters, because they may be contaminated. Follow your company's procedures for maintenance of the respirator, including proper cleaning and disinfecting and storage. Remember, respirators must be used in the context of a comprehensive respiratory protection program, according to OSHA Standard 29 CFR 1910.134. For additional information on respiratory protection in the workplace, consult this website. Mention or visual display of the name of any company or product in this video does not constitute endorsement by the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. This video provides a brief overview and general information regarding respirator use in your workplace. It does not cover all of the requirements specified by OSHA's Respiratory Protection Standard at 29 CFR 1910.134 and is not to be used for compliance purposes. Consult the Respiratory Protection Standard for comprehensive information about respirator use in your workplace.
We're going to do a mini T-Sheets run through training and simply just do the basics. Open the app and you've got your home page. It's your time card. You have your overview, which shows you the whole week and how many hours you've worked. Then you have your time card. You have your timesheets, which will show the previous days if you want to look at specifics. And you can open it up. You can see the notes that you wrote, how many hours, everything like that. So let's say this is today and I'm going to start working, and I'm going to be working. The first thing you want to do is you need to check the job that you're going to be working at. So you open it up, click the correct job you're going to be working at. Let's just say Lumen City Center, and then I'm going to clock in. Okay, so I'm clocked in. Let's say I've worked 6 hours here today. I need to just simply write to whatever I did. In multiple contracts, you need to write the correct one. So I write 2 hours plumbing. No more description than that. 2 hours electrical. 2 hours sprinklers. I don't need a bunch of details. And then let's say 6 parking. Okay, if you don't know more than that, that's all I need. Simple, broken down, easy. Say they don't know. Clock out. Okay, that's actually today. We're doing that one time. If I was working at, let's just say this new day, I'm going to clock in at a job. We're working for just the general contractor. I clock in for gateway. Clock in. At the end of the day, simply write how many hours it's been done. 8 hours. 8. You don't have to write how many hours. Just write 8. We know your contracts work, gateway work, rush construction, and only then save 8. Boom, boom, clock out. Okay? Let's say you work 2 jobs at one site in one day. Just simply click the job you're working at. Let's just say it's Cambridge or simply clock in. And then write a note at the end of the day. Say 2 hours